part of being a professional is knowing your equipment, your tools, knowing your tools, knowing its limitation, knowing how to get the best performance out of. I'm lazy. I want to get the best out of my equipment, so find the easiest way to do something the right way.
Hola, what's up, everybody? My name's Adrian Garcia. Welcome and welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast, brought to you by Jobber, my favorite CRM. If you guys need to get organized, better manage your business, Jobber is a perfect app for that. It's on your phone, it's on your tablet, it's on your computer, anywhere you have internet access, and you can invoice, quote, do your maintenance agreements, schedule jobs, get this customer hub where you can interact with your customers, send out reminders. It does so much for your business to help you free up your time at the end of the day. So if you guys want a free trial and discount, you can go to getjobber.com/reliable HVACR. Then we have VETO Pro Pack. I cannot tell you how many bags that I went through before finding out about this company with these high quality bags. Ever since I switched over, my bags have lasted so much more. I love the variety and the different uses for these bags. I mean, you can get creative with it. So like I said, go check out VetoProPack.com. Go look for a bag for yourself. Right now they're having a spring promo. It's basically buy one, get one free. So take advantage of that. You won't regret it. Now, if you guys are listening to this on audio podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to it, please leave a 5-star review. I would really appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment this video if you enjoyed it. And I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. I really love doing this. Great way to meet and talk to a lot of these guys, get their stories out. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in and making this what it is. On this episode, we have Bryan Sanders, also known as 304 HVACR. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him in all the live chats over on YouTube. Super good dude, good friend to everybody, super helpful. He does light commercial refrigeration, some HVAC, and I'm just glad that we got a chance to sit down and chop it up. So now, enjoy the episode. All right, Bryan B. Rye, how are you?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you doing?
It's getting pretty hectic. We are doing compressors, AC changeouts, all the summer stuff.
We're not there yet. Had the first no cooling call of the season a couple weeks ago. I think Tuesday I'm doing the compressor job on it. It ended up being a short of the ground compressor, and the condenser fan motor was bad. I got it changed out, but had to quote out for the compressor. But it's all good, and it's starting to pick up.
Yeah. So like, well, for here, it hit 100 the other day. So it's still cool over there.
It's been hit or miss, man. It's like,
it's kind of weird because over here we're getting like cool nights, like 70 or even under that.
Yeah, it's still on average. It's probably 60 to 70 during the day, and 40 to 50 at night. I think Tuesday we're supposed to hit a high of 80 on Tuesday.
When that summer weather hits, you're gonna be out there busy as hell.
Hey, bring it on, man. Bring it on. You know me, I like to work.
Yeah, man. A lot of us are just like that. Like I look forward to it, and during our downtime, like winter or whatever it is, because here, like, it gets cold, but we don't get any like no heat calls or anything like that. So we rely on the refrigeration side, to keep myself busy, or maintenance or whatever it is. But I always look forward to like real calls and real work, right? Being on the rooftop, sweating, getting that compressor in, the fan motor, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's we can say that in our off seasons that, man, we can't wait for it to get hot, so we're busy again, and then when we're in the thick of it, and we're up there and it's 100 degrees, and we're sweating, and you've already drank like half a gallon of water, and you don't have to go to the bathroom or anything like that. You know you're sweating. Then at that time, you're like, oh man, I just want to kick myself in the butt for saying that, But
Yeah, I had a few guys that were on Instagram, like Nestor and a couple others that were like, so they were like tired of maintenance or this and that, and they were ready for like summer. And I'm like, wait till summer hits, and you're gonna wish you had those maintenance calls.
yeah, I look at last year when I started where I'm at. I was doing PMs. That's what I started out doing, and I'm like, man, this is boring. And then I've been running service calls, ever since the end of August. And now, whenever I get the chance to do a PM, I'm like, oh, it's like a breath. You can sit back and you don't have to really think about it, and it's nice. I look at PMs a whole different way now.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch lined up again. Like they're reoccurring, so we get them every few months, and I dread them. They're boring. Keep our payroll, keep our guys, paid and everything, and then go buy a few tools here and there. I've been splurging a little bit since our last check hit, because we had some, like, we only deal with commercial, so there's like that gap, that net day that you have to wait to get paid, right, with commercial accounts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were behind on some payments, because it always happens at the end of the year, beginning of the year. It's like the budgets and stuff like that. But when it finally hit, we got like 30 or 40 grand hit at once. I was like, yes, so go buy some new Milwaukee tools, some stuff that we've been needing, and get our tools. Man, that was interesting. But you know what else is interesting? This podcast is presented by LOKAL. LOKAL works tirelessly to help HVAC contractors rank higher on Google. They use an attack methodology to make sure that contractors dominate their local service areas and increase their market share and generate higher revenue. Reach out to LOKAL at localhq.com/reliable. Mention me or the Reliable HVACR podcast, and you'll get 2 months of SEO for free.
You got the new Calgon backpack, the power sprayer, didn't you? Wasn't that
Yeah.
the one?
Yeah, I got the turbo tank.
Yeah, that's it. The turbo tank. I saw that at our local.
Have you tried it or seen one in person?
I seen it in person. They had one at our local United, which I was kind of surprised about. I checked it out, but and I'd love to get one, because, like you, I understand the pains of not having water access. Or if you have water access, you have to run, 300 foot of hose.
Yeah, crazy amount.
Yeah, and then when you get to, the water gets there, your water pressure is just nothing. And
yeah,
so,
I have a few that the water pressure to begin with is not even great. So I like to use like those expandable hoses.
mm-hmm.
Those rely on good water pressure to like fill up and expand and then give you a good amount.
Yeah.
So I have issues with that, like water pressure. And then like one customer, like, I don't know, they're in all these like strip malls type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
The building just decided to take away a lot of the faucets that I had out there. So when I only needed it for like 2 or 3 locations, now I need it for like maybe 10 locations. So I went out and started looking. I don't know when that'll come out, but I have a video on that one and the Milwaukee one, because I did get that one as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see which one, because the Milwaukee's actually, is it around the same price, or it might be a little bit cheaper? I'm not sure. But
it's cheaper.
yeah, it's what I know. The new Calgon one. I think the guy behind the counter said it was like $520 or something like that, and I think I'd looked at the Milwaukee ones, and they're like in the 400s, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, because I bought the new Calgon one for $575. That's what they had it for. So then I went and, well, spoiler alert, because I might post. I think I already posted like a picture. I
Mm.
broke it, so return that thing. And I talked to New Calgon. I'm gonna see if they'll or they said they want me to test another one out. So we'll see if that happens. But for in the meantime, because like I had a hard enough time getting the New Calgon one because nobody here has it. I went and I needed it the same day, so I went and got the Milwaukee. The I don't know if it's like a 2 gallon or 2.5 gallon. So that one was $199 just for the. Oh no, it came with a battery too. That was like $199 or something like that, $200. I would recommend like for AC units, the 4 gallon or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
That one I think is a $400 one. Because like the one I got is really good for refrigeration stuff, like where you don't need that much water. But if you're doing like big coils and stuff like that, you're gonna need to refill it a few times. And that's what I was interested in the New Calgon one because it was like a 4.5 gallon tank, and it seemed really well or seemed built really well. But I snapped off the hose fitting right there, so I didn't even get to use it.
That's crazy. I mean, you spend that much money for something, and I mean, yeah, stuff's going to happen, but I mean, this stuff should be, it's, built for commercial use, or it should be for that price. And
yeah, and when I because I recorded that day that I used or tried to use it and broke it, I mentioned or I had it. I didn't mention it in full detail, but when I opened it, that piece, the hose fitting on the bottom of it that connects the hose to the tank, it sticks out. And the first thing I thought of is like, what if I snap that thing off? And I guess I jinxed myself and I snapped the thing off. So I'm gonna use it. You know me. I'm gonna use it to go and tell them you need to fix this on your equipment. So like I said, I've been talking to them. I'm trying to get like a better contact for them, but I'm gonna tell them if they can address it, right? Because I do the same thing with VETO. I do the same thing with Field Piece. I do the same thing with anybody that I've talked to. We use these products out in the field, like technicians. They should have us. I don't know who they have testing this stuff. They should have real technicians out there testing their equipment because like we find problems left and right.
yeah, well, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, just, field testers, because what they would spend.
But that actually do like dirty work because like maybe the
Yes.
field testers that they have are just like going up real quick and then doing it once and that's it.
Yeah, like a true field tester. And yeah, they'll have to send us the products out to test and stuff. And that might cost them whatever shipping would be and whatever their price the manufacturer would be. But the information that we would provide back to them as technicians, I mean, it would pay off tenfold because then they're going to have a product that's going to last a lot longer.
Yeah, because like if they send me the New Calgon one, like I do see a use for it. I just told people that I'm gonna have to baby it a little bit or just be cautious of that break point or that weak point. So
And that
you know,
kind of sucks because, you know, when we're out doing a job, our minds shouldn't be on, is this tool going to last? Is it going to operate as it should? That should be the last thing on our
and
mind.
yeah, and I hope I got like a defective one or like an old one that was sitting on the thing, and I don't know. I hope something was wrong with the one that I had, so I hope that doesn't happen again. It's just gonna be in my mind that I already broke one, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and tell them, all they have to do is like recess it a little bit or put a little cage around it or something because I didn't even hit anything. It hit my leg and it broke.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
you're gonna be hauling it up and down a ladder and stuff like that too. So just hitting your leg and breaking. I mean, what's it gonna do whenever you're pulling it up with a rope or something, and say wind gust happens, and it smacks up against the side of the building. I mean,
Yeah, because I've talked to a lot of guys like Kurt and Jake, that do or we talk about tools and stuff, and I always have to interject and be like, but what if you take it on the roof? Because I'm the one out of the group, or like with other guys that I've talked to, because a lot of guys do more residential stuff, and I feel like a lot of this stuff is geared toward like a residential tech where they're just like walking up to it and like setting it down. Like, what if you got to get on the roof and stuff like that? That's the real test, right? Banging it up against a ladder, a wall. Like I do that all the time. Like you kind of toss it on the roof because you're trying to climb up there. Stuff like that. That's the real test.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm as big of a fan of VETO as you are, and I could I can I use that Klein hook to pull stuff up and down with. I know I can put that Klein hook anywhere on my VETO bag if I'm dropping it down off of a roof, so I'm not carrying it down the ladder on my back. I don't have to worry about it. It's just that you have that confidence in it, and just like most of your Klein hand tools, or I have some Knipex and others. And yeah, we spend the money on them, but we get that. We're also not even we're paying for the quality, but we're also paying for that peace of mind. And we know when we use that product, we don't have to worry about it breaking. It's going to do exactly what it was designed to do, and it's going to operate flawlessly. And
Yeah, I have like I said, I have that stuff recorded. So I'm going to show that I was very frustrated trying to track down the new Calgon turbo tank, only for it to break before I even used it. So I was very like upset that day. So that's what sucks, is like you want to get the nice tools, the stuff that helps you on your day to day, but then like, if it doesn't last or if it breaks down, that's what sucks. Okay, hold on real quick. Do you guys know who the inventors of the fluorescent leak detection is? Trusted and used by many manufacturers for over 70 years. Well, this podcast is sponsored by SPECTROLINE Leak Detection, the highest quality and brightest fluorescent leak detection products on the market. A2L compatible. Get the job done right with their 2-in-1 premium UV dye and powerful AC sealant glow seal. I've actually used it. You can extend the lifespan of your equipment, find and seal the smallest and hardest to find leaks. It works 24/7. Once it's in, it's always on. This product works when you're not there. The only focused leak detection company with success in many industries, because believe it or not, it's in most vehicles out on the road right now. So if you guys want to find out more, go to SPECTROLINE.com and let me know what your favorite leak detection method is.
well, and our tools are not what I like to refer to as trailer queens. They're not all show and no go. They if they look pretty, that's cool. If they look good, that's cool. But the function's the most important thing to me. So
Oh
that's
yeah, if it works, it works. Because I've come to terms with it. I have a bag full of Harbor Freight tools that I've been trying to break, but have they broken? No, they work. So they're gonna stay in there until I, beat the hell out of them and decide to get a new pair.
I've had one. Literally, this ought to be a commercial for Harbor Freight, but I've had one Harbor Freight tool break on me. It happened last week, and it's just because I dropped it on the ground at a weird angle. It was a 1/2-inch ratcheting, opened in, wrench. And I just went to my local Harbor Freight, took it in there. I had the new one in my hand in like probably 2 minutes. And I was like, you can't beat that. I mean, I'm not saying all their stuff is great, but
No, because people knock it sometimes in my videos, and I'm like, and then people will remind even me that you can go in and exchange it because they have that warranty on it and stuff. But like I bought it when I needed it, or like that it was a like a nut driver set, because I had my stuff stolen and I went and bought it to get back to work that same day, right? We weren't making as much money as we were right now. This was like years ago. So and even now we're still conscious about like what we spend. I'm not the kind of boss or whatever that just like splurges, or like the tech that just splurges on stuff.
Mhm.
Like I'm conscious about it, right? I just don't like to waste money or waste tools. Like if I have a perfectly fine set of pliers or nut drivers, like I'm not gonna just buy another pair just to buy another pair. So I bought them to get back to work. They were Harbor Freight. I mean, they're not the best. They're not as good as like my Kleins or anything like that. But I told myself like use them until you break them, and then go get Klein or whatever. I mean, even if you do break them, like you said, you can take them in. But I have not broken them. I stripped one on the outside because I needed to use like some channel locks to break something free. But they're in my wheeler bag right now because I don't use that one as much, but it's a full set of nut drivers and ratcheting wrenches from Harbor Freight. So, I mean, if they work, they work.
Yeah. I tell you, the Harbor Freight tool that has really come in handy for me. And I actually I can't take credit for this. I actually got this idea from Bryan Hughes Man HVAC. Um, is their plastic caliper, um,
Oh yeah,
because it's plastic and the letters and stuff are embossed on it. Anyways, I got the idea from him. I've used that thing now for, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months, and I know I'd heard him say that he took when the numbers wore off of it, he took it in and they gave him a brand new one. Well, mine, yeah, mine numbers wore off, and I think the caliper's like $2. I mean, it's next to nothing. I
yeah.
took it to him and I said, "Hey, is this covered under warranty? Can we get a new one?" He looked at it. He said, "Yeah, hold on." He went back and gave me a brand new one. I was like, $2, and I got a brand new one, and it's just so.
You gotta game the system. Like if they're gonna be doing that, they're that's awesome that they do that. I did break a wrench, like a ratcheting wrench, but I ended up losing it, so I was like, whatever. But if you do take it back, I from what I've heard, because I don't think I've done it myself, but like it's like a no hassle type of deal. So you can't beat that.
No,
Um,
there was no hassle with that half-inch wrench. There was none. And somebody had told me that you had to take the whole set in. So I was like, oh, crap.
mm,
So, yeah, I went and found the whole set and I took it in with me. And I said, the half-inch one's the only one that's messed up. And he looked at it, he said, yeah, that's messed up. He said, I said, oh, here's the rest of them. He said, you don't need the rest of them. He said, just bring the one that's bad in and we'll just take it and put it in the new package and give you a new one. So
do they ask you like receipt wise anything?
mine did not. Mine did not. I get my
I'm
receipt.
gonna Yeah, I'm gonna look for the wrench. I feel like I know where it is. I'm gonna look for the wrench and I'm gonna try it because I don't have the receipt or anything, but I'll try it out. Worth a shot. You never know. Get a new
It,
wrench.
yeah, and I don't know if it's store to store, but my local store here, and no, the question of a receipt was not even brought up. So
Well, because like if it's theirs, I mean they know, and then they'll just warranty it.
exactly.
Yeah. So good to know. I have a few things from there because one of my favorite tools that I actually had to go buy because I was so upset that I lost it was that Icon Switchblade flashlight. Like I love that thing, and I
Hmm.
had to go back and buy another one. That was my favorite flashlight by far because it fit in the bag really nice. It had so many different modes on it. And then like I just recently noticed that I couldn't find it, and I'm like, I have to go buy it again. But like I had to because I didn't want another light. The only other light I wanted to try, which I might still try, is like the Klein one that folds out and stuff. Is that the one you got? That's the one I want to try.
I have two of them. I like them so much. I bought two of them, and I use the MB3 on the
Yeah.
back panel inside there. It's like the TPXXL where it has the metal strip.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, these have the magnets right here, and that just sticks right there. It's out of the way. It doesn't intrude into my screwdrivers or whatever else. And yeah, it works good. And when they say the battery life on them, how long they say it lasts, it does last that long.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out because, like I said, I got the Icon one because it fits really nice
Mm,
in my. I basically have like an MB3 that I use on a daily, so it fits really good inside. Just like a screwdriver. So on my other bag, on my install bag, I wanted like a light too, and I think I might pick up that Klein one.
yeah, and another nice thing about the Klein one too is if you don't want to put it in a bag, it's
Oh, it clips, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it, it'll clip, and that that clip, although it feels a little weak, it's not, because I used to carry it on the outside of the bag and I would just clip it onto the handle, and I've never had it come off, never broke, nothing like that. So I mean, it is a little bit expensive. I think it's like $50, but it's got, you know, it's got high and low settings. Low settings is plenty of light and it'll last forever. And
Mm-hmm.
then, it's got a USB hookup on it too, so you could, use it for a
Oh,
phone.
that's right. Yeah. That was cool because I saw the $50 and I'm like, what does it do for $50? But it's a cool, versatile, little light.
Yeah, and it takes a beating. It will take a beating. So it's yeah.
Hold up. Quick question. What do you guys do when you don't have enough wires to run that fancy new Wi-Fi thermostat? Well, you can turn to FastStat. They have these wire extenders that'll help you save time and money where it's almost impossible to run brand new thermostat wiring. Common Maker, it provides a common connection for Wi-Fi thermostats, and it can provide any of the R, C, and W connections, even with a 2-wire thermostat, which is pretty mind-blowing. So if you need any additional control wire, you can get functions such as Y1 and 2, W1 and 2, G, OB, etc. They have different models depending on what you need. There's no batteries, no programming required. It's not wireless or anything. It just plugs into the existing wires if you have 2 wires or any amount available to you and you need more. All FastStat models come with a free replacement lifetime warranty. They really believe in their product. You can find these at any supply house. Just ask for the FastStat. I'll leave all the information in the description, and you can go to faststat.com. That's fast-stat.com to find out more. On the subject of work and stuff, what kind of work are you doing right now? Because you said you've been there, what was it, a year?
Almost.
Or how many months?
Let's see. I started July of last year, so yeah,
Oh,
10 months. Like
yeah,
that.
you're almost at that year mark.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of work do you do over there?
I do most of it is refrigeration, um, but it's a mix. I do I do whatever calls they send me, but
Yeah,
I would
so the company as a whole does like the HVAC and refrigeration.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
HVAC
okay.
and refrigeration. Um, we don't do a ton of, at least out of my branch, because we're a nationwide company. Out of my branch, out of West Virginia, we don't do a whole lot of walk-ins. The walk-ins that we usually mess with are like the capsule packs, like Subway style. The heat craft with the condensing and evaporator section on top of the box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we mess with those. We do some remotes, but I'd say our 90% of our refrigeration calls are reach-ins, self-contained reach-ins, multi-door coolers and freezers. Hussmans and zero zones are usually the two that we see.
So like a light commercial.
Yeah, light commercial. Yeah,
And that's
it's
that's what I've seen you post about is like the multiple door coolers and stuff like that. Um where it's like, I don't know, like in a store or whatnot, because I've seen your post about it. Is that what you or is that what you prefer to do, the refrigeration side?
yeah, yeah. I do. I'll work on anything because I make good money doing what I do. Um, but if I had my choices, it would be refrigeration all day, every day. I mean, I like HVAC. but it's just something about refrigeration, man. It's just got me by the heartstrings. That's my when I get to do refrigeration, I'm in my happy place.
What do you like about it?
I don't. I think it's the temperature pressure relationship. It seems like it's so much more critical in refrigeration than it is with HVAC. I mean, it's there with HVAC, and I may be totally off base with this, but at least in my eyes,
Well,
uh,
like the temperature is also like you if you want to say critical or anything, like the temperatures are much lower. You're cooling or freezing versus like a 50-degree, vent on an AC system.
yeah, and it's like what reach-ins are the same as going to be walk-ins. You get heat intrusion into the unit, and that just throws everything out of whack. Um, I don't know. It just seems like there's maybe more that could go wrong. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
Yeah, the AC systems, like I prefer refrigeration myself too. I like the variety of it. I like the different kinds because we do. I mostly do restaurant type of deals, but like you have a freezer, you have a like on one customer we have a like a chicken cooler, like it's all raw like chicken or whatever it is that they got to keep cool, and that has to be its own thing. And then they have another one that has like veggies and different stuff like that. So like they each have their own conditions and their own problems, their own quirks, and there's a variety. There's challenges with that. Whereas I go to an AC system, it might be just one of a few things, right?
yeah.
Not to say that it's not complicated because there's some places like the one I just posted. I don't know if you saw the one with the vents that they wanted to reuse. I mean the duct.
Yeah, I commented on that one. Yeah, that is.
So like that one's complicated. That one's gonna be a fun one, right? There are ones like that, but for the most part, like the AC side is a little bit simpler, um, and it can wait because I don't know about you with your calls, like your what you would consider maybe emergency calls, like freezers and coolers, depending on what it is or what's inside, cannot wait, right? That has to be fixed ASAP.
Yeah.
So, do you deal with a lot of I don't know, emergency calls? How do you guys, or do you do a lot of overtime?
As far as overtime, I mean, throughout the week, I've even through the winter, I've averaged probably about 50 hours a week. Um, but coming up here soon, it'll be probably 60 to 65 a week, which is fine with me.
I
Uh,
was gonna ask, is that are you good with that? Do
I'm
you ever experience burnout or anything?
um, I have like since I started here, um, there's been moments where I was like, man, I'm starting to get burned out a little bit, and I just I don't know. Maybe it's I just have a weird mindset, but I just kind of soldier through it, and I find something to like, and it's probably my ADHD. I find something to like super focus on,
Yeah.
and then that doesn't allow my brain to tell my body, "Hey, you're getting burned out," and then by that time it's passed, and I'm good to go. But I worked in the oil field for 12 years, so a 60 to 65 hour work week there
Yeah.
was like a 40-hour work week to anybody else. So when I'm working 40 hours, I'm like literally bored to death.
I just ask because like and I'm kind of the same way, right? I get on the rooftop. I deal with the customers daily, like at restaurants or even hospitals. We do a lot of hospital work too. And I mean, I can't just leave or I can't just not fix something.
Right.
So my mindset kind of goes into that too, where I kind of push forward and I just deal with it. You're up there. I mean, try to take care of yourself, right? You got an umbrella. You got a good hat, a good hat, arm sleeves. You know, I'm covered head to toe, gloves on the entire time. I try to keep the sun off of me
Yeah.
because when I started and I wasn't wearing anything, right? I didn't even wear gloves when I started. Um, that sun would beat me up so bad, and I just felt 10 times worse than what I do now. I can get through it now. I just feel like it's a whole lot better. So like, take care of yourself when you're up there. But
Yeah.
I always get through it just thinking of the end game, right? Like you just want to get it fixed, you get it going, you can relax afterwards. Now, if you feel like you are on that line on the verge of like passing out, whatever it is, like go take a 5 minute break or whatever it is. I always tell people just take a little break. Sometimes you gotta clear your head a little bit too. But
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I like to push through it. This is a really bad thing too, but I'll work through lunch or whatever it is just because I want to get out or finish that job and not have to go like back to it.
That's, yeah, I can't tell you. I've lost count of how many times I've worked through lunch, and it's just, it's not that, I don't want to eat something or anything like that. It's just I'm so focused on the task at hand that, it's like when I do start getting hungry, I'm like, I've not ate anything at all today. Um, so yeah, I force myself sometimes to do that. When I first started back in July, it was warm, and I wasn't wearing gloves, and I didn't have those arm sleeves, and which have made a big difference. Um, and they last. I'm really glad I got those from you, because those things are sweet. And I didn't have a sun hat and stuff like that, and I would be literally driving home from work, and I get to the house, and it was almost I couldn't get my fingers off the steering wheel because I was cramping up so bad.
Mm,
Um, so now I make sure when it starts getting really hot, I at least have one Gatorade with me, or Squincher packs, or whatever your flavor of choice is, and to get those electrolytes back in you, because that does make a big difference. I don't drink any pop, or, well, what I call pop. It's my West Virginia accent coming out, but Coke or soda, whatever you call it in your neck of the woods.
yeah.
Um, when it starts to get 70, 80 degrees, um, like I hardly drink any soda at all throughout the summer. Like hardly at all. It's just either, Gatorade packs, or Gatorade, or water. It's one of the two,
Yeah.
because of the salt content in the pop, the sodium content, and it'll dehydrate you out. Another thing, my wife got me one of those umbrellas for my birthday this year. I've got to use it twice, and I don't know how I ever operated without it.
Is
Um,
it the Subco one?
it's the Subco one. Yeah, I've got the magnetic base. I've got the extension for it, and then I also got the clamp mount. So if it magnet doesn't work,
Oh
or
yeah.
yeah, I got that too.
I need to get the extension for it. That's the one thing I need.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was just going to get the regular umbrella when she asked me what I wanted, and I was like, yeah, I got thinking, I was like, well, the extension is going to give me more headroom, give me a little bit more flexibility. So I went with it, and I think it makes a difference. But yeah, not gloves. I wear gloves all the time. Um,
Except that one time that I saw you post about the
yeah,
refrigerant burn.
yeah, and that's yeah. I didn't. I thought when I was getting up on the roof to do that job, I was like, I left my gloves. I knew they were they were on top of my cooler, in between my seats in my van, laying there, because I laid them out. I had to check in with an IVR at this customer's location. Had Man, I meant to grab them, and well, you see what happened. It was got a nice little refrigerant burn.
So anybody watching or listening, please wear some gloves, or don't Like, how did that happen? Were you trying to disconnect something, or did something leak out?
I was taking off the discharge side,
Okay.
and it there's like a burr on the thread of the Schrader port, and it got caught there, and it was leaking out. And I was thinking I had enough time to try to work it past that burr, and that's what happened. It was coming out and I was, that's kind of freaking out a little bit too. I'm not embarrassed to say so. Um, because you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's the charge. Well, that's all. It's just a charge. Let it go. You got more refrigerant in the van, and I follow that rule now. But I just couldn't get it off and fast enough, and it just I finally
Yeah,
grabbed a hold of my pliers and got it past that burr and got it off there. But I knew I was in trouble because my fingers were numb and stuff like that. And even after I got my fingers warmed back up, they stayed numb the rest of the day. And I thought, man, I'm gonna have some blisters. And sure enough, I did.
how how are your fingers? Like, how long were you in pain with that?
Um, about 90% of them, I was only in pain with them for, I don't know, maybe 3 days. But I had one that was right on the crease of my knuckle.
Mm.
And so, you're constantly moving it. So it never had a chance to really fully like heal up, because it would start to heal up and you'd move your finger and then it would crease it again. And that one was probably a good 2.5 weeks before it quit hurting.
You kept
Now,
you kept working the next day, or did you take time off?
no, I kept working. Now, I did post a picture on Instagram that was a really bad one.
Oh,
Yeah, that one was a coworker. I don't know if that's
yeah, I remember that one.
yeah, that was a coworker. He was off work for 2 months. Had to go to physical
Okay.
therapy. Um, and
Yeah, that's probably the one I was thinking about, because, like,
yeah,
man, that one was horrible.
that one was horrible. Yeah, he's back to work now, but yeah, it
Was
was.
it a similar situation with him, or how did that happen?
I think his hose blew, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that stuff is scary, dude.
it really it is, and you know, it's like when that happens, you're you've got to be able to tell yourself, don't be a hero. Um,
Yeah, I've had that. I've never been burned that bad, but I can understand, because you're working for somebody. You're kind of worried about getting in trouble, or losing the charge, like you said. But I think your boss would much rather replace the refrigerant than have a situation where possibly you lose a finger or something.
yeah, yeah, and they yeah, and the guys I work for, they are. I will say that much. They're like, don't be a hero, but
Do
I
you
mean,
use any ball valves now or anything on your hoses?
oh yeah, yeah. After my refrigerant burn happened, um, I remember you deviled me a little bit about it, which is cool.
I
We got
I get after my guys all the time when stuff like that happen. Like that stuff happens, it comes up, and me working, or running my business, I'm constantly having I don't know, to get after them or to remind them about things, because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Because, like, in this trade, you are dealing with refrigerants, you're dealing with high voltage, you're dealing with blades. Like, there's a whole bunch that can go wrong.
well, and we've got to keep each other in check, which is another nice thing why I really love Instagram and the community is those of us that are in the lives all the time, and we know each other, maybe not personally, but through social media and stuff. We can keep each other in check and not mean it. not doing it as hey, dummy, you did it wrong. It's, hey, yeah, you did it wrong, but here's how to do it right. Like core depressors, like told me, get you some core depressors. And I use core depressors religiously now. My hoses on my analog gauges are ball valved. And, it's just, I've taken those little bit extra steps because at the time I didn't really realize it. You don't think about that stuff, but every little bit of that, helps out. It's going to
Oh
keep
yeah.
getting refrigerant burns. It's going to keep you from putting too much refrigerant out into the atmosphere. I mean, I'm not I'm not some greeny tree hugging guy or anything like that, but I mean, it is our responsibility to
Yeah.
do the right thing. And so, that regardless if we agree with it or not, obviously people out there have done the science on it, and that's they deem that that's damaging to the environment. So we got to be responsible. That's what
So
I think.
yeah, I mean, anybody listening, you need at least a ball valve adapter, or like if your hoses have the ball valve on them. I'm gonna try some field piece ones pretty soon. I really like that they got into the hoses and stuff like that now. I've been using some Appion ones that are nice because they're those core depressors. So you put it on and you're not depressing anything. Like you can get your fitting on or off without ever touching the Schrader, and then you screw in the end, and then it'll depress it. There's things like that. What's the other one? The quick connect, the low loss fittings. I used to use those, but I would mess them up a little bit too often. So I went to like the ball valves and now the Appion one. So there's options. Just make sure you give one a shot, see which one you like.
Yeah, and another thing too that I think gets overlooked is a lot of people don't realize that on your hoses you can you can adjust the core depressors.
Yeah, I learned that after a few years. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, and I mean some of them, and it's just a matter, you're going to have to see which ones you have. Some of them they're threaded, so you can back them out a little bit, and some of them are just they're friction fitted. But regardless, I mean you can do it when you got nitrogen in the system if you want to get it dialed in. So
Yeah,
you're not worried about getting refrigerant out or getting yourself burnt. But I've on my hoses, I went and I've got my core depressors adjusted to where they work for me, so that whenever I'm taking the hose off, if I don't have the core depressors, the screw-in type like the Appion, or I have the AccuTool ones,
yeah,
um, I've got to the point where now, when I'm loosening it up, I push down on the fitting and loosen it up, loosen the threads up, and then I can just pull back on them, and you don't have any refrigerant that comes out. You just got to be more
yeah.
cognizant of it than with the low losses. But you can,
That's funny that you bring that up because a lot of people right now, and I think I don't know if I ever posted it, but I know I did a video, and I'm working on one right now because I'm trying out a few different, like I said, hoses and stuff like that. I've seen people post about reminders to change your gaskets in your hoses, right? That's another important thing.
yeah,
But I was thinking the same thing that you were just saying is like, don't forget you can also adjust the core, the depressor, because like I said, I found that out like years ago, and I was like blown away. I was like, oh, I can make it not immediately depress if you want to like adjust it back or whatever it is, and that'll give you time where it's like as soon as you start unthreading it, it'll stop the flow. Things like that, you just got to be aware of like how your equipment, hoses included, how they work, and the best way to that they work, like for you, like you said.
well, if you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice, because we're professionals. We're quote unquote supposed to be professionals, and part of being a professional is knowing your equipment, that your tools, knowing its limitations, knowing how to get the best performance out of them.
And
Because
how to be safe at work.
yeah, and how to be safe with them at work. And if not, then I just refer to those type of people as appliance operators, because you're just plug and play. Oh, I'm not going to put any forethought into it. Well, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because you don't know how you can't get the best out of your equipment. And I'm lazy. I want to get the best out of my equipment, so find the easiest way to do something the right way.
And that's funny because like I never liked to admit that I was lazy, but like talking to you, talking to Pat Finley and a few other guys, everybody just admits, because they'll get asked like why do they do things a certain way, or why is it easy for them, or this and that, and the honest truth is just because we're lazy. We want a more efficient or better way to do things.
Yeah, the moniker "work harder, not smarter." That didn't come from a hardworking person. That come from a lazy person. That's just and there's different levels of laziness. There's laziness like where you're not doing what you're supposed to do to get the job, to do it the right way. That's like pure laziness. Then there's a smart lazy.
There you
Uh,
go.
yeah. Well, like I did a post on Instagram, where I got tired because I was too lazy to want to take the bungee cord out that I have on my V belts on. So I went through and spent about an hour, got them organized, and used a dry erase marker, because I don't have any windows in the back of my van. And on the inside door, I have in order written, the belt like A32 dash and the quantity. And so now, if I go up on a roof and I need a belt, I can come down and I can just open up my door, look and see, hey, yeah, do I have that one? Yes. No, I don't have that one, but I have one that's 1 inch bigger, so I can make that work. That's not being smart or anything. That's just being lazy, because then I don't have to get up in the back of the van and drag all those belts out and go through them one by one to make sure of what I got and what I don't got. That's just,
Yeah, that's the one that I commented on, and I was like, oh, that's smart, and you're like, no, that's lazy.
yeah,
And that's why I do a lot of the stuff that I do too, right? Like the different loadouts, the way my van is organized. Like, yeah, you can call me organized, you can call me all this. I'm not an organized person outside of that, but it's
yeah,
because like when I'm working, I don't want to be fumbling through a shelf full of like random parts or something like that. That's why I keep that stuff organized, to save time on the job, because I
yeah.
don't want to be dealing with it, at like on a job site. So
And that's what really drew me to your videos, is because you were always coming up with these different ideas of different ways to do things, and it always made me think. And I've not always, done stuff that you had come up with first, that sort of thing. But I had, when I see something like that, and mainly it was with you, 'cause I watched a lot of your stuff, but some of the other guys too, and I'm like, can I make that work? Is that going to work for me? Yeah, that will work. Cool. And that's another nice thing about our community, is especially those of us who are active on social media and stuff, is that we give each other ideas. And it doesn't mean that we're not original. It just means that a whole nother group of people are operating a whole lot more efficient than they were before.
yeah, that's a good point. I've never looked at it like that, like anybody copying or like you said, not being original. It's just, and that's a big reason that I post. even early in the YouTube channel is like, I don't know if it's gonna work for you, but like you might get an idea from it, or you might tweak it, make it better, whatever it is. Like this is how I do things, and take it for what it is, and build on it, or do your own thing with it. And I also go on YouTube and I'll look at other people's like van setups and different things and get ideas. I'm like, okay, maybe I can try that in mine and do this and that, to where like even in the van that I'm in right now, when I got it, I think I posted pictures of it, or I showed it. Oh, I made a video on it.
Yeah.
Um, I I was like, this is different, but I got like super excited because I was like, I'm gonna be able to do it my own way, right? And I like to have everything easy access, quick grab type of deal. So I'll be able to show that soon. And I love going and getting ideas from other people and sharing mine, and hopefully it helps somebody else. Like that's the cool thing about posting online.
Yeah, well, it just makes our lives easier. It's like um, with the belt, the putting my belts on the back door. Flooded evap, um, who's
Oh yeah.
and yeah, he posted a picture and tagged me in it where he went one step further. I just did belts. He had his belts, his contactors, his refrigerant, all that stuff. He had that listed on that, and I was like, man, that's awesome, because I didn't even think to put all that stuff on there, and I'm probably going to copy him, because I'm like, man, that's nice, because I could go through, I could do belts on one door, and on the other door, I could
Yeah.
write down, I've got this many 240-volt contactors, coils, this many 24s, and so on. And that's, again, yeah, we're operating efficiently, but again, that comes back to I'm lazy. That keeps me from having to crawl back in the back of my van when I can open up the door, and I know that I've kept that up to date, and it's good to go. And like
It's
another,
just it's just a little extra time. I always take the time after work to organize my stuff or check my stock. Just a little extra time here and there. A few minutes can save you a headache on a job site.
and dry erase board, $2 from I think Dollar General.
Yeah.
But this is nice, because I don't, when I need truck stock and I start running out of truck stock, I can look on this and say, okay, I need this, I got to use that, and I've got, it just, so I don't have to go back in the van and look. I can,
Yeah, I have a bunch of those laying around my office right now because I use them for different things.
yeah, it's,
But that's a good idea because I was looking into, I might end up doing that for mine now. I got a lot of dry erase stuff for here. Like I have a calendar. I have um like for notes for like the podcast. I have the one I just showed you was like the sleeves that I sell, trying to
mm-hmm.
keep track of all the orders I get, notes and different things. In the van, I was trying to figure out how to keep myself accountable for like follow-ups and different like jobs that are like scheduled or are a little bit further out, and maybe even like stock, like you said. But I was looking at like doing like a little notepad, but I think a dry erase board might work a little bit better. So might give that a try.
Yeah, this one I put, and it usually gets erased pretty quick, is when I use a part, because at the bottom of it is for truck stock items. The top portion is my open quotes that I have.
Yeah,
Uh,
stuff like that. That's the stuff that I'm really bad at, like the quotes, the follow-ups, the calls and stuff like that.
yeah, I've got a form on my iPad where I keep a folder of quotes that are open, quotes that are completed, and that sort of thing. But I have to pull my iPad out and go into it. Whereas with the dry erase board, I just keep it behind the seat here. I can pull it out and look at it at a glance. And
Yeah, it's there's something about being able to physically write stuff because I kind of transition to like writing notes on my iPad too, like for the podcast and different things. On my phone, I just remembered I do have a parts list on my phone. Like I have a checklist of like parts that I'll use that I need to restock, and then when I go buy them, I just check them off. I've done it that way, but I hate doing everything on the phone and iPad. So like I still do like physically writing things. I feel like it's a little bit better, quicker to get. Like you just leave it in the van, you know, pick it up and look at it. It's a visual there instead of like pulling out your phone and you know doing all that.
I think
I
it's a
don't
Gen
know.
X thing.
You think it's a what?
A Gen X thing.
Yeah.
Those of us who did, we grew up with the development of cell phones and computers. We didn't have them before, and so we were used to writing down notes and stuff like that. So it's kind of reminiscent for us.
Yeah, like I think when I started putting up these dry erase boards, my girlfriend was telling me about all these like apps and stuff, and I was like, "That's cool." And I did download a few of them, but I'm like, there's something about like looking up and just seeing like the stuff that I wrote, and
Yeah,
then like physically erasing it or writing it out.
yeah,
Um, that's just a preference.
yeah.
So you said you were completing almost a year at your job. What did you do before that? What kind of work?
Before I started with the company I'm at now, I worked for Coke for 2 years as a service technician. Uh,
Was that
Basically,
like the soda dispensers and refrigeration stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Your freestyle machines, like you see in Wendy's and some of these other chain stores, and then your standard plain Jane soda machines. We did a little bit of ice machines, not a ton.
How
Drink.
hard how hard are they is it to work on that kind of stuff now that you've done both? Because I've been asked if I would be open to working on like soda machines and stuff like that. I just don't know if I would be into it.
Soda machines. That's a good question. I'm gonna say they're about equal in their own ways. Because really 90% of the problems with them is because of lack of maintenance. They're pretty simple. You just have water, CO2, and syrup. And usually the main issues with those is you have a syrup pump that its fuel source is CO2,
Mm.
that goes bad, or the nozzles and stuff that diffuse the soda, so you don't, it allows both parts to mix together, don't get cleaned like they should. And, that sort of thing. It just,
Yeah, because I think I tried looking it up at because I forgot who asked us. I don't know if it was like a Stripes or some gas station. Um, and I tried looking it up, and it seemed like because I think you check like I don't know if there's like a ratio for the soda to syrup or the
yeah,
carbonated water, whatever it is. And then like checking the nozzles and making sure like all that stuff is in working order. So I thought it was interesting. I just don't know if I would if I'd be into it, but I'm always up for a challenge.
I mean, it's easier. It's easier than refrigeration stuff. And honestly, you guys I mean, your company, you already do the hot side, and it's pretty easy. And there's not a lot of companies out there that do it, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because normally they just call like Pepsi or Coke or whoever it is. Other than that, I don't know who does it around here.
Yeah, as far as independent companies go, there's really not a ton of them. They're out there, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I owned my own business like you guys do, I would definitely do it because I know it would be an easy income source.
Mm.
It's
I'll have to circle back around that because I can't remember. My dad was the one that got the call for that, and they were inquiring if we would be up for those kind of calls.
yeah, and you got my phone number, you got my email and stuff. You guys decide to go that route and stuff like that, give me a call and pick my brain. I'll tell you what you need. It's. I mean,
Yeah, because like I guess like with that kind of stuff, it's always like where do I start or what am I looking for? Like like because like I've never opened one up or looked at it. Anytime I've been called to work on that kind of machine, it's usually just the ice machine portion of it.
Yeah.
And I've never touched, because even at our fast food chains, I mean, all the ice machines are attached to a soda dispenser thing, and I've never messed with it, but I mean, I'm sure there's work for it.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you've got your valves, and there's a few manufacturers of valves, but they're pretty much all built the same. It's just like refrigeration and AC. It's all heat transfer, different equipment, but do the same thing. Um, but about really the only specialized piece of equipment that you use with soda machines, where you don't. It's the only place I've seen them used, other than the automotive industry, is you use the clamps. You don't use hose clamps to hold the braided lines to the barbed fittings, that bring the soda water and the syrup in. They're called Oetker clamps. They're a compression clamp fitting, but they're super cheap. And like Knipex makes the best Oetker pliers out there. That's about the only specialized piece of equipment that I carry in
Oh
my.
yeah, I think I had looked into something, and I came across some Knipex pliers and stuff like that. I went down a rabbit hole, not a long one, but I was on there for on YouTube going through a few videos to scope it out, and I remember seeing those.
Yeah, but yeah, just if you decide to go that route, I'd be happy to help you and your dad out and get you guys pushed in the right direction as far as where to get stuff at. And
That's a cool thing, because like knowing you guys online, I had another guy that offered like for residential help, because I don't do residential. Not that I can't do it, I just don't want to do it.
right,
And he's like, yeah, man, I think he does residential and like hot side, and he's local to me. He's like, man, if you ever he like we were talking on Instagram, if you ever need anybody, I'll run a call for you, or if you don't want to do the work, throw me the work. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like I like that's stuff that I need, right? I need help for different things here and there. And it's cool to find all these guys online that are like as passionate or into it, or whatever it is. Like, we're all kind of we're in this HVAC world. We love all the same things, and that's really cool.
that's another thing that I really like is that yeah I it's just nice to be able to talk to somebody, whether it's on the phone. I've talked to some of you guys on the phone, or just online. It's just knowing that that person on the other end is going through the same stuff that you're going through
Yeah.
is very, very comforting.
No, it's all good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Um, as far as like, I mean, you've been doing it a little while now. So like you did, or you're doing refrigeration, some HVAC. You did that or you did some of that in the Coke company.
Hmm.
Uh, was that? Did you have any prior experience in the HVAC world, or was it just from these two?
Not just from those two.
Learning on the job or schooling, anything?
I had some classes at Coke. That's where I got my EPA. I had my Type 1 EPA because, we all worked on small stuff, small R134A systems and R290 systems. Um, and then I just started watching like your stuff and NorCal Dave and Rick from HVAC, our survival, and Chris Stevens. The usual suspects.
Yeah, I love all those guys.
All you guys are great. And there's just something, because I've always had this engineering mindset. Like, I got to know how stuff works, and it just piqued my interest. And I was busy with Coke and doing that, and then last year, I was actually off for 2 months on medical leave for medical issue, and I was like, man, I got to do something, because I was bored to death. And when my mind gets bored, then I start getting depressed. I'm sure a lot of people do, but not saying that I'm anything special for that. But so I had to find something to pass my time by, and I want to say might have been Jennifer Manzo. I've seen on TikTok about Skill Cat, and so I looked into it. And while I was off, I got my universal, my EPA universal, and I'm thinking, well, I really only need my Type 1 at Coke, and this stuff at refrigeration, especially doing the coolers at Coke and stuff. This refrigeration I'm really digging this, and so I'm like, well, maybe I need to, push that way, and I just decided, I wanted to make a change. I'm glad I did, because this is the happiest I've ever been in my life as far as work-wise goes. I listen to, like Brett's podcast, Advanced Refrigeration. And I guess maybe I'm just a different breed, but I really, truthfully want to get into supermarket refrigeration. I want to get into racks.
Yeah.
Particularly CO2, because I see that being the future, and it's just a very, very good but very strange refrigerant. That.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the it can exist in 3 states all at one time.
It's crazy. I tried to have him explain it to me, and I only understood like a fraction of it.
Yeah, and it's the same here. It's so but I'm trying to learn, and that's another thing too. Is it's constantly I'm able to learn. So as long as I'm able to learn, I never get bored.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. That's the same way I am, because that's what draws me to refrigeration and the stuff that we do. It's like, new stuff all the time, variations. I just recently worked on an ice machine, 410A. I've never seen that before. Samsung compressor. We had to change it out. I was all new to that, and I was like, super intrigued, super into it, and it piqued my interest.
Yeah, I've heard of the 410As, but I've never ran across them. True, they just put it out on market in February. True's making ice machines now.
True. Oh, that's right. I think I heard or saw you and somebody else talking about it, maybe in a live chat or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, true? All right.
Yes. I didn't know that. I went to that natural refrigeration summit and training in Pittsburgh, which was awesome. And one of the classes that I went to was for True Refrigeration, and they had one of those ice machines there. It's R290, and it looks it's pretty neat looking setup. It's it's built very well. So if it lasts like anything else that True makes, it's gonna stick around last.
Yeah, I used to work on a lot, like exclusively True when I started, and I want to say we even did warranty for them or something. But yeah, like their stuff. I mean, we worked on it a lot, and you kind of like already knew what to look for and stuff like that. But like you could get it working.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that, because that's very interesting. Like on the ice machine side of it, how they're gonna do things.
That's touch display, really similar to Manawak. One thing that I really liked that they did, the what do they call it, the water shield or the ice shield on the front that goes over top of the evaporator. A lot of those have the magnet in the corner that after a period of time the magnet will pop off.
Fall out. Yeah.
Yeah. They use the same setup where they have a magnet, and that tells, lets the unit know to go into harvest or whatever. But that magnet is molded in to the whole shield. So there's no way for it to pop off unless, you totally are beating the snot out of it and break it off of the door itself.
Which they do in restaurants. They always beat the crap out of their equipment, so that's why they call us.
Yeah.
We have doors that are falling off and of different equipment and stuff like that. And it's like, quit slamming them or quit doing weird things with them. And I've had customers that rip off whole walk-in doors, and I'm like, how the hell did you do that?
That's talented right there. That's pure talent. That's not luck. That's just 100% talent to be able to tear up a walk-in door.
We've seen it a few times, man. I mean, like sometimes it's like, what the hell did you guys do here? You know?
Yeah, or you know it's because of misuse or because they've been hard on equipment, and they ask you, what happened? Why did it break? And you just get to say, user error.
User error. I'm like, quit kicking the shit out of this door or whatever the hell you're doing. Because
Yeah.
I've seen it. You catch them sometimes doing these things, and you're like, quit doing that shit.
Yeah, I was working on one of the capsule packs, and I was up there. I actually changed out an evaporator fan motor, and the freezer, because the walk-in cooler and the freezer, it's all like one big box. They've just got a separate insulated wall. And I was up on working on the cooler, and they were coming in and out of the freezer. And this one dude, I heard him. I was like, I bet he's going to slam that door because I heard him cussing. He was mad about something. He slammed that door, and he was inside the freezer getting something. You know, he slammed it shut and was inside the freezer. So I thought, I'm going to freak this guy out. So, you know, they have that lid that you can pop off to get to the evaporator. Well, I popped that lid off and moved that while the unit was running. Then I looked down in there and I said, "Hey, quit slamming the door." And he didn't know how. He got jumped out of his skin, scared him to death. He's like, "Oh, I'm
awesome.
sorry, man. I'm just having a bad day." And I'm like, it's okay.
That's awesome. You gotta have fun at work sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun because like I deal with restaurants, so like, you know, you get to talk to the cooks and the guys that work there, and you know, just kick back and talk to them sometimes, and you know, they help you get to know the equipment. Like if you're new to them and all that, like you can ask them to tell you what's wrong with it or what it's been doing and stuff like that, and then just, you know, joke around, have a conversation with them. The other thing I always tell people is you never know, because we've had cooks that end up being management or they move somewhere else and then they refer you and stuff like that. So it's always good to have fun with them and talk to them and you know, all that good stuff.
Well, and I don't get to do it so much here because we don't do any restaurant work other than we do some work for Bimbo's Bakery, which is the ones who sell the Wendy's gets their buns through.
Oh, okay.
But when I did work for Coke, I mean, and I this is where I come up with this idea at is, you know, we have all these tools in our tool bag, but if you go up to the person that usually works on this piece of equipment, sometimes they are your most important tool, at least your most important diagnostic tool. Because, you know, you ask them, hey, you know, do you run this all the time? Yeah. What's it doing? And they tell you, and that can sometimes shave 35, 40 minutes off of trying to diagnose what's going on. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'll even double check sometimes, like, did you guys happen to have a delivery yesterday? Like, there's questions that you need to ask them about a few different things too, and you'll learn all that when you start doing this kind of work and talking to a customer. I mean, don't take it word for word. You know, they might not know what's going on with it, but ask them and listen to them a little bit, and they'll kind of help you or point you in a direction that you might not have thought of.
Well, you got to it's just about qualifying the customer. You know, it's the way I always put it.
Yeah, man. So we are over an hour now. I appreciate you for coming on and taking the time, man. Time kind of flew by. We're having a good conversation there.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully, it's a good podcast for you. I enjoy. I was a little shy at first, but I popped in a couple of lives and stuff like that, and I don't know. I just like kicking it and having a good time.
No, man, I appreciate it. We need, it's a community. So I like you popping in here, or popping in on nights, or I think you said you'll be on Misfits soon too. So it's all a community. We all talk to each other, share stories. It helps others. I've gotten really good feedback on just people that come on here and share how they got in, or what they're going through. The viewers and listeners just, they appreciate that. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this. And like I said, it was a fun conversation.
Take your time. Just do good work. Whatever it is, just
take pride.
Yeah, take pride in your work.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. So everybody watching and listening, thank you guys for coming out, and I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.